I grow sick of people who say one thing and then do another. That's not you, Uncle A. I believe you will do what's best for you.
No.
Just shut up. I'm just saying get some work done.
I am so sick of the way that you bark at me.
The sick of it all is essentially it's a black and white noir-style comedy that's weirdly based off The Little Prince, the French children's book. And it's about a loveless relationship. The whole concept for where the movie came from, it stems from a past relationship that I had, and the girl that I was with, she started to kind of get into different sort of American Indian ritual sort of stuff, and then that turned into Eastern Indian Kundalini sort of yoga type stuff. And it really just put this wedge in between us, and it basically ultimately was the demise and the end of the relationship. And so after the fact, after my heart was mended and healed, I started thinking about what would I have had to do if I wanted to try to save this relationship, because there was no conversation anymore. So it was fuck, I would have had to have joined the cult, or I would have had to have followed her into this stuff. So that's sort of where the whole story kind of came from, is that daydream of if I wanted to keep it, what would I have done, sort of. So, well, the thing about The Little Prince is the whole thing with the main character, the pilot in the book. He's sort of lost his youthful ways, and he's crashed his plane in the desert. And here comes this little prince who gives him the opportunity to get his youth back, through his story of his journey and everything. And he essentially succeeds, in that. And the pilot just, finds his youth by the end of the book. So I always love the concept of, people not growing up, or people staying true to some of their, who they are, who they stated that they were, and then all of a sudden adult time comes and it's oh no, I can't make jokes like that anymore or something. So I don't know, I'm trying to stay a kid my whole life, and that book I think is probably one of the reasons why, because it's to be creative, I think it's important to be childish at times. So essentially, that's another sort of theme, and sick of it all. It's all the adults are kind of more childish than our one child in the movie. He's kind of the adult character, if you will, or that's what I was trying to do with it.
Do you love her?
Look, you knew that when we started dating that I was a toy collector, that this was my passion.
I'm coming for Soldier Boy at 3 o'clock. Sober up.
She's into the antiques and all that stuff. She collects that. He collects the toys. His toy collection, as you see, is kind of diminished and is pushed into this back bedroom that's turned into a storage room too, and the rest of the house is her antiques everywhere and whatnot. So she represents she is full adulthood, and the sort of his toy collecting, all that stuff is sort of him trying to hang on to his youth a little bit, which is quite funny because people have asked me if I'm a toy collector or whatnot, which I'm not at all. And that toy collection that we were able to kind of put together for the movie is quite hilariously shit, it's not the best, but I think it kind of makes it slightly even funnier that way.
What's the story?
Will you draw me a sheep?
I don't know how to draw sheep.
Just draw me a sheep.
Why?
I saw in a book once. Draw me a sheep.
No, not until you tell me what's going on. Now, your dad said you guys were in trouble. Now, look, Uncle A needs you to focus for a moment. Tell me what's the matter.
Just draw me a sheep.
Lots of family members are actually in the film. LP is my nephew. Barbara is my brother. That's my brother, Emmett McGuire. And then Foxy is his wife, Rika Rigor McGuire. And then the two kids in the commercial are their kids as well. And then Logan Sparks, who plays Anthony, and Amy Claire, who plays Rose. They're actually now together. They were together then. They just started dating around that time, I believe. Now they're married and have a baby, on the phone calls that come in, my older brother's one of them, my lady is one of them, so it's a family affair for sure.
What am I cooking?
You're making a roasted pumpkin feta over quinoa salad with white gazpacho soup.
Making a special meal for Aunt Rose and her friend.
friends?
Well, it was very strange for them. Like they, you know, were spending all this time just like bitching at each other and getting into it, and then they'd go home, and it was like kind of sort of hard for them to turn it off. And yeah, so I think they had a lot of like hug sessions, a lot of I love yous and whatnot. But that's a crazy thing, you know. They just started dating essentially, so like they were in their honeymoon phase, absolutely, you know. And I'm like, no, go to the end of it, and you guys don't really like each other anymore. Like do that for the next couple weeks, you know. So yeah, it's strange. Well, Robert is somebody that I've worked with for forever. Like he actually shot Carlos Spills the Beans as well, and I grew up making films with him, so like working with him is the best. He literally cares about your film more than anybody else on the movie, and he'll work longer than anybody does, and he's super talented, you know. So the concept of shooting this film in black and white after we had done Midnight Kiss so many years ago was like really exciting to both of us, and even like with the whole noir style, with like using the canted angles and the shadows, and the whole sort of concept for each shot was like, fuck continuity, let's just make every shot look like a painting, you know. So that's what we were trying to do in there. And like if in a wide shot when Anthony Logan's sitting at his desk working, the lamps are like far spread in the corners of the room, but then when we move into the close-up, we'd move those lamps in behind them because it just would look cool or something like that. So I think it's very noticeable that the continuity jumps around, but it's not like, it doesn't take away, I don't feel like, from the film, at least in my opinion. But that was really like the first scenes that we actually filmed, and it was so fun because yeah, we managed to, you know, get into this ginormous green screen studio with the car and putting Zion, who's 7 years old at the time, in the car. It was beautiful, super fun, and you know, like a simple shoot in the sense that there was no sound, like all that stuff, and it was a great way to sort of start the film, you know, and see what Zion looked like dressed up in his outfit and like putting him in the car. It's some of my favorite stuff in the movie for sure. This is the 7th film that's played at Raindance. It's the 6th time I've come, yeah. But one year we had 2 films played at the same year. It'll be the first time, and maybe, quite honestly, might be the only time that this movie ever gets shown in a theater for quite some time probably. So yeah, this is a special, very special moment, you know. Watching, there's other films that I've made that like when you do watch them on a big screen, they change, you know, the energy, everything about it changes. So I'm really curious to see if that's going to happen tonight, you know. I hope so. It actually comes out worldwide in January 3rd. It's going to be released like, you know, on the internet, like Hulu's. I don't know where yet, but hopefully it has like hit some good homes.
Soldier Boy puts the action in action figure. More guts than your own father.
To pretend and live in fantasy, I mean, I wish I had more time for that sort of activity.